Hello everybody, Josh12 back here again with another video. I'm here with another top 5 list. Yes, it's that time of the week again, so let's get into this week's top 5 list. Now, of course, lately, I've been watching and doing a lot of nostalgic rewatching of DC TV shows. Yes, I just recently rewatched Smallville, or at least I'm continuously rewatching Smallville because it is definitely a very heavy order, mostly due for preparation for the Superman appearance, his return to TV, if you will, with Supergirl Season 2, which I'm very excited for, regardless of, the casting or, anybody's personal thoughts on my personal thoughts. But at the end of the day, I am excited, and I can't wait to see Superman return to TV in his full glory. And, of course, I've been watching Smallville, and a while back, I want to say last year-ish, or maybe earlier this year, or what have you, I don't remember. It was definitely pre-Batman v Superman. I made a top 5 list that was the top 5 DC movies that never got made. Considering that Batman v Superman was coming up, it felt like a very fanboy-heavy kind of inspired movie, and I felt like it would have been interesting to do a top 5 list dedicated to the multiple DC movies that Warner Brothers never got to make and continuously tried to go and do through production and pre-production and having actors and directors signed on and writers to make scripts, but never actually became anything. And I thought it's just fun as a DC fan, or just a comic book fan in general, to really think what could have happened to the superhero genre if these movies were made and were seen by audiences around the world. What could have happened? Could have become a new franchise? Could there have been a Marvel Cinematic Universe? Could there have been a different kind of DC Cinematic Universe? What could have happened to the superhero genre? And I really like thinking about those kind of speculative kind of things, and or theories rather. But seeing as how I have been watching these old DC programs like Smallville, obviously for preparation for the new Superman on TV, I thought, wouldn't it be interesting to see and go back and look at the multiple TV shows that never got made? Yes, the multiple DC programs that were ordered and possibly could have been made, but never went anywhere because of, Warner Brothers' continuous attempt to try and make stuff that never pan out to anything, unless it's, something that has to be movie related, or something that could be done at a cheap budget that they can market off of and make multiple toys so we can buy. And that's pretty much where we're at this point in time. We got multiple TV shows, we got movies that hopefully will be getting better as time goes on, and we're just in this very weird place in the superhero genre where they're taking over the box office, and they're killing it, and they're doing great stuff, and they're everywhere. Superheroes are everywhere, so it just feels appropriate to just think about all the other TV shows that could have been made. I mean, we got a lot of stuff as of right now, obviously, with Supergirl, Arrow, Flash, Gotham, iZombie, Legends of Tomorrow, Lucifer, Preacher, and that's just the DC stuff, not to mention all the other countless DC programs that may be coming to pilot and will be seen pretty soon, like Powerless or Krypton and stuff like that. So, for the sake of this top 5 list and continuously making it longer, let's just really get into it. Now, of course, as always, my list is subjective. It is my personal list, my personal thoughts. So, of course, in the comment section below, let me know what your personal list is of the top 5 TV shows that never got made. Now, of course, as always, this is only going to be very specific when it comes to its critique. I don't have a very precise criteria other than the fact that the programs that I will be choosing are shows that were in production but got slated for something, end up shelved. Nothing that really left itself with a pilot. So none of the shows like Aquaman or Wonder Woman that have pilots will not be included in this list. Keep that in mind. But that being said and done, let's get into this top 5 list. Coming up at number 5 has to go to the Booster Gold TV series. Yes, back a couple years ago, Booster Gold was going to be a sci-fi TV program and possibly feature other characters of the DC universe. But of course, that never happened. It never ended up going anywhere. Of course, there was a lot of speculation as to where Booster Gold can go. A lot of people have been really wanting Booster Gold in live action, myself included, and it's just a very fun, entertaining, comedic character. He's kind of an asshole. He's full of himself. He really doesn't know anything, even though he does kind of come from the future and all this kind of stuff. It's a wacky character of biblical proportions, and we'd like to see more of that. And, of course, it's never really gone anywhere. There was rumors that it would be featured on, the character to be featured in Legends of Tomorrow. That obviously didn't happen. Now, of course, there's major rumors about Booster Gold possibly being in his own solo film. Is it going to be part of the DC movie verse? Is it going to be a part of the CW verse? Where is this character going to end up? We don't know, but this was a show that was eventually going to happen and did have some production towards it. And being as how it is in the process of possibly being made into a movie, that's why it's mostly down in the bottom of this list. But it still would have been cool to see what a Booster Gold TV series could have been. Moving off of that, going to number 4 on this list has to go to the Blue Beetle. Of course, this was a show that kind of was spun off of Smallville to a certain extent, like Booster Gold and many other characters at this time period. But of course, this would be featured of the third Blue Beetle, Jaime Reyes, and of course, it wasn't going to have anything to do with the Smallville version, however, and would just be its own kind of thing. However, the thing is that a lot of people really want to do a lot of Blue Beetle stuff. No one really seems to really have a legit vision for the character, so this is a character that's kind of like been spun off, been referenced in multiple things, but it's never really come of anything. Back in the day, I want to say a good couple years ago, Jeff Johns did, give us the idea that Blue Beetle would come to TV, he would have his own series, and they inevitably made not really a pilot, but like a trailer to what the Blue Beetle series could be like, and you could find that trailer, or at least clippets of it on YouTube, I'm sure. It is pretty interesting and fun to look at it, but overall, this was just a series that ended up getting shelved like a lot of programs, and of course, never became anything. And of course, beyond that, there was lots of references of Blue Beetle over at Arrow in the CW verse, of course referencing the second Blue Beetle, Ted Kord, and then there's references of Ted Kord Industries, multiple other places like the movie verse. Zack Snyder's obviously talked about Blue Beetle here and there. So what the big question is what's going to happen with Blue Beetle? Is he going to go on to a TV program? Is he going to be featured in the movies? Is he going to be featured, as a character in the so-called Booster Gold movie? There's just a lot of questions, but the big thing is that this was originally going to be a character in a superhero TV show dedicated to the third freaking Blue Beetle, Jaime Reyes, and it never ended up going anywhere, and that's really sad because it is an awesome character, and it would be the first freaking legit Hispanic fucking superhero that would have been really cool and fun to look at, and that obviously did not go anywhere. And also, it just would have been an awesome TV series to have that kind of a formation, an archetype, versus the Smallville version that kind of felt like more or less of a superhero and more of a Power Ranger character. But moving off of that, and going to number 3 on this list has to go to Amazon. Yes, Amazon. Back a couple years ago as well, CW was working on a prequel origin series dedicated to Wonder Woman. Yes, there was going to be, obviously there's been multiple unsuccessful projects, live action wise, dedicated to the Wonder Woman mythos, dedicated to the Wonder Woman character ever since the end of the 70s with the Wonder Woman TV series. However, nothing ever came of it. And it's one of those things that you really have to scratch your head and think, why didn't anything happen to that character? Why didn't it go anywhere? Why didn't it become something? I mean, Wonder Woman is one of the greatest female superheroes of all time. She's a part of the big 3. You can't have 3 without Wonder Woman. You can't have the Trinity without Wonder Woman. She's a part of the Holy Trinity. She's fucking amazing. She's phenomenal. And DC and Warner Brothers and everyone involved never had a legit vision or plan of where she could go and utilize her and market her, which is sad and depressing. And this is a very major TV program that, of course, was a part of this line of failures that never became anything. And Amazon, a couple years back, was going to be obviously a CW program set within the CW DC universe. It was obviously kind of pre-Flash, after Arrow. It was in the production stages of Flash, and this was going to be a part of that kind of a universe, and of course would be the origin story of how Wonder Woman came to be, if you will. Just kind of like the Batman Begins to Wonder Woman, if you will. And that's what the TV show would be. It would be set in Themyscira, the Amazon universe, all that's kind of crazy, awesome stuff. But of course, because of multiple script changes, people not happy with the way the script was going, it just never became of anything, and then inevitably got shelved, failed, and it's really sad because Wonder Woman deserves more than what people give her. And even though I'm very happy with her representation in the movies, and I have a lot of hope for her in her film franchise with Justice League and her own Wonder Woman film, it still would have been cool to see a Wonder Woman TV show that we could all watch and look up to from a week-to-week basis. And plus, come on, it would have been awesome to see Wonder Woman a part of the Arrowverse, hanging out with Arrow and Flash and Supergirl and all these other characters, because that's what Jeff Johns was planning. That's what could have happened. If Amazon happened, we would have Wonder Woman on CW. Come on, that would have been fucking awesome. But moving off of that, and going to number 2 on this list of DC programs and TV shows that never got made, it is of course going to one of the biggies, and one of the biggest shows that I was super hyped for, and that is, of course, Titans, aka Blackbirds. Now, of course, if you don't know what this program is, I did talk about it heavily in several videos of mine on my channel over the last 2 years, and of course, it was going to be a live-action TV series dedicated to Teen Titans. And for me personally, I love the Teen Titans. I love the cartoon series. I love the comics. I mean, the Teen Titans are freaking phenomenal. I love those characters. It's just really awesome. And I really like the idea that DC were doing a live-action Teen Titans program. Maybe it wouldn't have been amazing, but it still would have been cool to see what that could have been. And of course, I did have hesitations towards it because you did have people like Akiva Goldsman creating it, show running it, writing it, if you will, especially the pilot, which I wasn't really big on because, come on, I mean, like, the guy did have an Oscar, but that doesn't really mean shit considering his freaking, you know, his track record with superhero stuff is not really that great. I mean, like, he did the Schumacher Batman movies. Come on. I mean, like, that's just a disgrace as in and of itself. So having him a part of it really gave me hesitation and it let me on the fence, if you will. But overall, I still was excited because this show would have had multiple references to Batman. It would have been Robin and his, you know, rise to become the freaking Nightwing. It would have given us live-action Nightwing, for fuck's sake, which everyone wants, but no one seems to freaking give us. And then we got Starfire and Raven, possibly Beast Boy, some other characters we don't really care about. Oracle, again, after her, you know, whatever appearances of Birds of Prey and, you know, the half-ass version they kind of did in freaking Arrows Season 4, if you will. It would have given us all of this, and it never became anything. TNT was supposed to develop it. They shelved it. They were like, you know what? We don't want anything to do with this shit. Jeff Johns was like, all right, what are we going to do? And that's pretty much where we're at this point in time. Teen Titans will not be a TV show. Could it be a CW program? Could it go to another network like Sci-Fi or some said shit? Possibly. But then there's also multiple rumors of the characters of this show, or at least Teen Titans in general, like Nightwing or Starfire or Oracle or so on and so forth, could be characters featured in the movies, maybe the Cyborg movie, Batman movies, so on and so forth, maybe its own Teen Titans movie. But at the end of the day, that's all in the future. What we really could have gotten last year was a Teen Titans series, and it never became of anything, which is deeply depressing. I mean, come on. Give us live-action Nightwing already, Warner Brothers. Stop fucking with us. Stop teasing us. Just give us Teen Titans and freaking Nightwing, you bastards. But moving off of that, and before we get into number 1, let's give out some honorable mentions that did not get on this list, but are programs that are DC-related that never became of anything. Okay. Deadman, TV series, never happened. The Graysons, prequel Robin story, also would be a part of the CW universe, never happened. Hourman, he ended up on Legends of Tomorrow, so I guess it's not really that big of a deal. The Spectre ended up on Constantine, but still would have been a spin-off of Smallville because of the Justice Society thing. Would have been cool and interesting to see. And of course, Global Frequency. They inevitably didn't make a pilot, however, this is a different version of Global Frequency that never happened, so it does get included within this top 5 list. But with that being said, moving off of the honorable mentions and getting to my number 1 pick of DC programs that never got made that I wish it did, has to go down to number 1, Bruce Wayne, the TV series. Yes, let me give you a history lesson, folks. Let's take a time-traveling trip real quick. Let's go back in time before the CW DC universes, before even Marvel's epicness of the cinematic universe, before all the wacky shit of the DCEU, even the Dark Knight trilogy and all that kind of wacky shit. Let's go back to when Schumacher made Batman and Robin the biggest travesty to the superhero genre ever. Schumacher made Batman and Robin. It basically destroyed the superhero franchise, and of course, the Batman franchise in and of itself, with one movie. It was insane. There was no more superhero stuff. There was no Batman stuff. Yes, we had Blade. Yes, we could have looked forward to Spider-Man or X-Men, but who knew those would be anything of worth? This was a time period where superheroes were dead. Batman was dead. It was a franchise of nothingness and shit. But then there was thoughts and theories. You know, Aronofsky was going to do Batman Year One. That was the big thing. You know, people wanted Batman Year One. We wanted a live-action Batman Year One. That's what we wanted. Warner Brothers was still kind of thinking, how can we reboot this Batman franchise? How we can make another movie? And considering the odds of the time period, they were like, well, let's see if we can do something on TV. So they ended up trying to make a Bruce Wayne origin story on TV. This is before Smallville, and a lot of the elements of this program inevitably went on to be Smallville, just reversed, because instead of Batman, it would just be Superman, Clark versus Bruce, all that kind of wacky stuff. But this was a Bruce Wayne origin story where he would be around 18, 19, his late teens, early adulthood. He would come back from his years of training outside of Gotham, and he would be a hopeful, young, energetic character who would just be on the rise to be the dark, gloomy, fucking depressed fucking old man that we all know and love as the Dark Knight. And it would feature multiple characters like Harvey Dent as his best friend, and freaking Jim Gordon as a very interesting character. A lot of really cool stuff. Have narrations by Alfred, which I guess is kind of wacky. And it would just been an origin story of the rise of Bruce Wayne becoming Batman, very similar to what Smallville inevitably became. And looking back at it, this was a program that I really wish could have been something. I really wish it could have just became a thing and existed. Of course, it never ended up being. The pilot was written. The story of the series was really set in stone. There were characters galore of the DC universe, especially the Batman mythology. But then, Batman Year One. They wanted it. Warner Brothers wanted Batman Year One. They were like, yeah, we got Darren Aronofsky. We got rid of Schumacher. We're gonna go full on with this. Fuck TV. And they scrapped that idea. They shut it down. They were done with it. They got rid of the script, and they said Batman Year One. And of course, Batman Year One never became anything of worth, because that never became a thing. And of course, Bruce Wayne, the TV series, changed to fucking Bruce to Clark Kent and became Smallville, which is cool for hardcore Superman fans, but of course sad for us Batman fanboys. And of course, Batman Year One became Batman Begins, another origin Batman stories, and then of course led into the Dark Knight trilogy. But still, it would have been amazing to see an epic collage of a series of Bruce Wayne becoming Batman and seeing his change from being this kid to this Dark Knight. It would have been epic and awesome and feature so many characters and so many badass, super villains and stuff. And looking back at it and considering the fact that Warner Brothers and DC inevitably signed off and greenlit a quote-unquote origin Batman TV series within Gotham, and considering what that show is, it just would have been superior to go with Bruce Wayne, the TV series. I mean, come on. I mean, yes, it would have been a lot like that show in Smallville where, no capes and no costumes and, Bruce Wayne could never be Batman until the end or whatever the fuck. But still, it would have been awesome. I mean, if you go, take the time out of your day, go check out the pilot, read it, read the script, go check out the notes and all the crazy stuff of what that show could have been. It definitely would just have you hooked of why didn't this ever become something? At least for me personally, I really wish it could have. And come on, Batman on TV, that's something we've all wanted. But of course we have to deal with baby Batman and of course a killer Batman, Punisher-esque Batman in the movies. So, it is what it is. We are in our stages in life where we have to deal with these kind of things, but still, it would have been nice to speculate and think what could have been. But that being said and done, that's going to be the end of this top 5 list. Of course, once again, recalling all of the TV shows that I mentioned on this list. Of course, Bruce Wayne, Titans, Blackbirds, Amazon, Blue Beetle, and of course, Booster Gold. TV shows that never got made, unproduced series that would have been amazing, but of course, all we can do is speculate. And maybe one day we could get something on the lines of these shows. Maybe Gotham could become a Bruce Wayne-esque show. Maybe we could get a Wonder Woman TV series after multiple movies with Gal Gadot in the DCU. Maybe Blue Beetle would become something. Maybe this Booster Gold movie is going to come out. But at the end of the day, it's still, just a fun thing as a fan of superhero stuff, or the superhero genre rather, to speculate as to what this stuff could have been and what could have changed. But let me know what you personally think in the comment section below. What is your top 5 list of DC TV shows that never got made? And of course, considering all the pilots that DC and Warner Brothers made of, I guess maybe one day I'll also do a top 5 list of pilots that DC pilots that never got made or became series. So let me know what you think about that as well in the comment section below. But with that being said and done, I hope you guys enjoyed. Shameless plug time. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Jonch12. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. And hope you guys enjoyed. And this has been Jonch12.